Hello and welcome to the APW. It's the Arndales in session. The Arndales or Arndales?
Arndales.
Arndales in session. This is Anthony, and we're going to have a look at his signal chain today. So, what have you got from the guitar end first?
Right. So the guitar, I've got two, but obviously I'm only using one because I can only play one at a time.
Right.
This is a Gordon Smith. Now it says it's a G60 on the head, but it isn't a G60.
Right.
I don't quite understand why it says it's a G60 because that's a really different kind of guitar. But this, I believe, is a GS 1.5.
Right, yes, because you've got the humbucker and the single coil.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And my other guitar is a GS 1.5 as well, but it's a double cutaway. But it's,
Right.
other than that, it's effectively the same guitar. I love Gordon Smith guitars. Leatherface, the best band ever from Sunderland. Sorry, Field Music, the pretty close second. They always played. Dickie and Frankie always played Gordon Smith, so they all, you know. And also, as you'll hear when you hear the music, I'm not really a proper guitarist, so the utilitarian nature of it really suits me. It's very simple. It can basically do anything. That's the other thing I like about it. I can't do anything, but the guitar is definitely capable of it.
Yeah, I mean, you could shred on one of those, or you could do like a little jazzy bluesy thing if you like. I mean, they're made by a different company now, aren't they? The Gordon Smith name's been taken on by somebody else.
It's changed hands a couple of times, and I mean, I have no evidence to back this up, but what I understand is the previous, when it changed hands the first time, those guitars were not great, right? But apparently the current ones are very good. Right. They're also a lot more expensive than I mean, I was very lucky. The era when I bought these about 10 years ago, both of these guitars, or this one I got for about 180 quid off a guy on eBay, and the other one I bought off a builder in Aylesbury for about 200 quid.
Right, so they're getting off of Gibson money now, aren't they?
Yeah. I mean, still, if you want to buy a new GS 1.5, it's still going to be cheaper than buying a Les Paul Junior or something like that. Yeah. But it's they're more expensive than they used to be, but they're just brilliant guitar. Again, they're perfect for me. They're simple, just like I am. Yeah. So that's the guitar, and
then we go into
the pedal board. And anyone watching this expecting to see like really expensive boutique pedals is probably going to be quite disappointed.
Well, everyone loves a tube screamer.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's the perfect. Here's the thing. We do lots of gigs where maybe I won't be using my amp, I'll be using somebody else's amp. And that's why I like to have the tube screamer, because I know if I turn up at a gig and I'm sharing a Fender Twin or something like that, I can actually get a bit of the sound that I want. Yeah. But I like it because it's basically it's not a distortion, it's not a metal sort of sound, it's just it gives it a little bit of bite, and that's a I did buy it specifically because it's like I've used that issue with it before in our old studio, and I got that really cheap for like about 70 quid off someone on. I think I bought it off someone on Facebook actually. I mean, in terms of actually coming in from the guitar, obviously I got my Polytune at the start. Leighton, our bass player's got one of those as well. I love those. That's the funny tuner that you can just strum all of the strings. And you can see all of the strings at once. Nice. Good old Behringer compressor. I'm sure some of your viewers will be really happy to see Behringer. It does the job, Then this is a new addition for me. It's the Electro Harmonics Pitchfork, which is a really great kind of pitch shifting pedal. I'm just using it to do an octave up and an octave down at the same time. And the reason I like that is because it's got a latching switch, so you can just put your foot on it and then let go. So you can just drop it in whenever you want. Right.
Is that a bit like a POG or a POG or whatever?
It's much less flexible than a POG. A POG can do all crazy modulation and stuff like that. Right. But I think at the heart of it, it's probably the same DSP that they use in that. Yeah. But it's a great thing. I mean, I just like doing stupid, if I do a little lead line, I like to just stamp on that at the same time. Or maybe, lots of our songs, they're really simple. I'm going to do a lead line 4 times, so I'll do it twice, then I'll stamp on that for the second time just to keep me interested. And then the one next to it, that is kind of like a handmade clone. It's not an expensive one. It's basically just a clone of the harmonic percolator, which is the pedal that Steve Albini sort of popularised in Big Black, and I think he still uses to this day. And that is built to... It's a guy I think he's in Leicestershire or something like that. and he uses the blueprint, which is considered like the best one. Basically, the thing about harmonic percolator is they're filled with glue. So basically, if you want to reverse engineer it, you have to kill it. Right. Like, you can't just take it apart and put it back together again. So somebody somewhere sacrificed one to the gods of pedal builders everywhere and made this blueprint. And basically, it's just, for me, it's just insane fuzz. Like, every now and again, I might just stamp on that for like mega sustain. And then obviously the tube scream you've seen, and then a good old Behringer reverb at the end. And I'm sorry to say that I've used much more expensive reverbs, and for me, that sounds just as good. I mean, bear in mind, I'm playing a Gordon Smith through a tube screamer into a grotty little amp, which you're going to see in a second. I don't really think spending hundreds of pounds on a Strymon is going to make my sound any nicer. No. You know, it's going to be kind of wasted.
Just putting out stuff the amplifier's never going to reproduce anyway.
And there's cool stuff that this does that a lot of other pedals doesn't do. Like, it's got this trails. You see that little switch on it that says trails. Oh, yeah. And basically, if that's on, when I turn it off, the reverb decays. So it doesn't, like, you know, so a lot of other pedals, more expensive ones, you hit the button and the reverb will just disappear immediately. But with this, it kind of tails off nicely, which obviously our audience really like, you know.
Essential.
Yeah, it's completely essential to our sound. And then the amp, I don't know if you want to squeeze in there.
Just go around there for the Sessionette.
So, Sessionette Mark II, 80s, British, made in Basingstoke.
Yeah.
Transistor.
So they were kind of the first real popular and used transistor amp that attempted to replicate a valve sound.
Exactly. It was trying to give it a bit of drive. They also, I don't know if you've ever seen, Sessionette used to sell a box which was like an amp simulator as well, like a sort of mid to late 80s. And it was the same, supposedly it was the same amp inside it, but it had some kind of really primitive speaker simulation.
Right.
But basically, that for me is the perfect kind of sound. I can get drive out of it, but it's not a rock with a capital R sound. It's not like a metal sound.
Brutal or anything.
Yeah, it's driven, it's wiry, it's like, you know, and Andy Partridge from XTC was a great like exponent of that. And I shouldn't even say his name. You know, I shouldn't even be in proximity to that, but that's good enough for me.
Yeah.
And again, that cost me 70 quid. So, you know, you can get them really, really cheap. But apparently the Mark II, this one, according to the session guy, who's still around, still works in the amps, he says they're the best ones to get, because Mark I's, apparently he can't work on them. He can't overhaul them and modify them, but the Mark II he can.
Right.
So I've actually got both. So I've got a Mark I from Cash Converters as well.
So, nice.
But so that's my ridiculously lo-fi rig. I mean, compared to some of the other stuff I've seen on your channel, this is like going to a jumble sale.
Well, it's like we were saying outside earlier. You know, there's options here to use other amplifiers, but that's the one that's going to sound like your sound. Yeah. So, you know, and there's no right answer, there's no correct setting.
That's totally, that's totally what I believe, you know. I mean, you know, we're not like again, a capital R rock band. Really, we're not that because we couldn't do that.
Yeah.
Like, we're not good enough to do that. You know? But so it works for me.
We'll come around this way. Is it Andy?
Yes, hello.
Right, so you're playing a heavily modified ironing board.
Yes, indeed. I mean, the ironing board is crucial to the whole sound. I used to have keyboard stands, just didn't get on with them. But because I've got so much rubbish here, I thought it was quite nice to have it all in a row so I could see it all. I didn't want the L-shaped one like Rick Wakeman, because people start making comparisons and that.
You haven't got a wizard's hat.
No, exactly. I miss it. That's all I'm missing, really. But so it's everything's cheap, everything's cheerful. Got this for organ sounds. It's just a cheap Yamaha from Toys R Us or somewhere like that.
Yeah. R.I.P.
Yeah, R.I.P. Sadly, you can't get gear this good anymore.
No.
Organ sounds only, really, for that. This is the little beauty that I use most of the time, especially on the new stuff that we do, Microbrute, Arturia.
Is that a proper little analog synth?
It's analog.
Yeah. Wow, that's cool.
It is no presets, so after every song I'm twiddling the knobs like crazy.
Do you show down the cards?
I have. Oh yeah, you can these. sheets come with the that's one of the tunes I think we might be doing later. So you place the little. It's such a handy gizmo, and then you move the knobs to where the lines say. So I've doubled up on this one somehow, but yeah. So it's not programmable, which always adds for a bit of fun live.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's an absolute. It's gorgeous though. Yeah, a couple of £100 new, and I can't say enough about them. Then I've just got a couple of silly things really for just bits of noise. This is a little Gacken SX150. Again, about 15 or 16 quid from the internet somewhere. Nice. Some Chinese, again, a little analog ribbon synth, and the same with the old Korg Monotron delay, and that just for a little bit of light and shade on the songs, just a bit.
Nice.
That's all. Through my own mixer, because I use my own amp. I never go DI because the amp has got a noise of its own.
Yes.
So
you got little Vox Valvetronics.
I have. That. Yeah. I've always been very fond of Vox, and Anthony had one of the older models of the Valvetronics, and I just like the sound and like to be able to whap it up if I need a bit of extra.
Yeah. What model are you using?
Oh, man alive! Hang on.
Do you ever change it, Andy?
I don't. No. I've got a preset on there, but it's basically.
Does it say which one it's selected on the left-hand knob? Can you see?
Yeah, I can. It says US Blues.
US Blues. So it's probably a Bassman.
Yeah, it would be something along those lines.
Yeah, maybe deluxe reverb, possibly at a stretch. Yeah. Well, there you are.
There you are.
There you are.
Yeah, trial and error is what I use.
That's the thing about modelling amps. You twiddle with it and go, yeah, that's the sound. Yeah. And then you go, it's meant to be a Fender Twin, is it? Okay, fine, whatever.
Exactly. I know. There's some horrendous sounds on that I don't go near.
Yeah.
The top end, the real metal ones,
Yeah, a bit much.
Oh my God, yeah. But that would make this, ruin my sound.
Yeah. Well, it keeps the analog warmth, but you don't have to worry about breaking valves and all that. Palaver.
Precisely.
So, lovely.
Yeah.
Well, cheers. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And immediately round to Leighton, since we're all still rolling. Hello.
Right, let me stand to address you.
Right.
I was listening to what these people were saying. I don't really know anything about any of this stuff.
No.
I bought this amp because it was it was like the perfect blend of portability and cheapness. I spent a long time in Witherspoons, comparing. I also like the fact it's almost a cube.
Yeah, it's quite cube.
I'm thinking about getting it modded with some cardboard to actually make it cuboid.
Yeah. That'd be nice.
The leads, they're all stock leads.
Yeah.
This is an old one. I like it. And then I've got, like Anthony, I've got a Polytune. I bought that. That's probably the best thing I've ever bought in my life.
Yeah. They are quite. I mean, it's just the polyphonic tuning thing is quite amazing to me because I grew up with Boss tuners and things with little
the things you have to switch them around like one little click.
Select the note that you're on.
I just used to get my friends to tune the guitar.
Yeah.
But so that makes me independent. That makes me a grown up on the stage.
You're a big man now.
This is a Philosopher's Stone. That's a pedal that I use. And
kind of a distortion.
It's a distortion compressor.
Right.
Compressor. And it really does just send me into another dimension in terms of sonic excellence.
Yeah.
And this pedal, I always have it. I don't always plug it in, but if I have it with me, it reminds me that I borrowed it from Ant and I should give it back at some time.
Okay.
But as you can see, right now, I've gone for it's not in line with the other pedals. It's completely mobile, so I can put it pretty much anywhere. And guitar, I got it because Anthony told me to get a Jaguar Precision when we started the band.
Right, okay.
And this is lighter. So I bought this instead.
Yeah. It's quite, I mean, you don't normally see a jazz bass with a couple of humbuckers and 4 knobs. It's quite a nice looking guitar.
They're the cheapest ones. People that play guitars want to buy them like most expensive gear because they think there's some correlation between the amount they spend and their excellence.
Yeah.
I can assure you that there is no correlation to be made.
Okay.
Just buy the cheapest thing, because then if you lose it, it don't matter.
Yeah.
Buy a new one. But if you go spending £3,000-4,000 on the bass guitar, it doesn't make these work any better.
No.
Or the brain, that's the other thing. You're better off spending it on like therapy and medication and other things like that.
This is all very true. Thank you, Leighton.
I think we need to sit down now.
Sorry. Yeah. And this is the other bit of kit I carry with me. This has got all the songs written down on bits of paper.
All right.
Essential. And I've got a book as well.
Yeah.
In case I get bored.
Lovely.
Thank you.
Cheers, thank you.
Hi.
Hello.
Would you like me to talk about my gear?
I'd love you to talk about your gear.
Here's
That would
my
be
gear.
amazing.
I have 3 drums, sorry.
Yeah.
Keep it simple. The floor tom, the snare drum, and the big drum, the bass drum.
Yeah.
And 3 cymbals, 2 cymbals, 4 cymbals, however many cymbals there are.
There's some cymbals there.
Some cymbals, an array of cymbals. Oh, can I highlight this? Because this is a very special thing for me. This is handmade by a lovely friend called Jackie in Dunstable.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah, it's keeps me warm as well.
Yeah, I bet it does.
For winter gigs, winter gig wear. Just put it across, fits beautifully. You know, never any doubt where I am.
Brilliant.
What I'm doing. So yeah, that's good.
It's amazing. Cheers. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.